To borrow from Madonna, we're living in a digital world, and I am a digital girl. But what are some things I still like to use in print? In this Word Made Digital tutorial, we're going to talk about print I love to use in the digital world. Hello, my friends. Welcome to Word Made Digital Tutorials. I'm Joanna LaFleur. This video is brought to you by the Canadian Centre for Christian Charity. So thank you so much to them for making this video possible. More about them later. And I want to talk to you about print. Of course, so much is digital. I have a philosophy you've seen in previous videos that's called digital first, but not digital only. And so we want to talk about some print pieces that I think still have a place and a context in this digital world. So if you want to know why I love digital so much and why you should do digital first, watch the other video. I'm going to link it here. But for now, let's talk about print I love to use. Number one is print promo cards. A promo card is something, it could be like a postcard size, it could be a circle, it could be a square, something small you can hold in your hand, one sheet, not multiple, that is bright and colorful and has some very simple but clear information. Those print cards are a great confirmation of a digital campaign that you do. So for example, Christmas at your church. We want to do a digital version of that with a website with all the information, all the latest details about what's going on at Christmas at your church. There might be multiple events happening, but the print card can be something that people can have in their hand, can remember to go to the website from, and also can be used as an invitation. So these digital things have all the details, have all the map of how to get there. Maybe you want to register for something in advance, but then the print card is something that's going to point them to that, reinforce what you're trying to say, emphasize it, and just really get that in front of people in more places. That high touch is going to have people engage with it, even if they touch the card that's on their seat in church and then they throw it out, they've still had to touch it and engage with it. Where of course sometimes in digital, as you're flipping through your Instagram or flipping through your emails, you might delete it without ever looking at it, without ever engaging with it. The print piece is going to be something that you have to engage with, even if it's just for a moment. You look at it and then you throw it out. So promo cards are an amazing way to point people to your digital assets. Number two, thank you notes. If you aren't writing handwritten thank you notes to people in your world, volunteers, families in your church, people going through things, oh my goodness, start today. It doesn't cost very much to get a pack of thank you cards. Maybe your church could even print cards if they don't already have. Custom cards, just a postcard with thank you and your church logo on the front and blank on the back so you can write a handwritten note. It's amazing how meaningful those can be in a digital world. And also it's something that people might clip on the fridge. It might be something someone tucks in their Bible. And in a time of discouragement, they might find your thank you note or your note of encouragement that you wrote and took the time to say something to them by hand. And it might come to them at the right moment in the right time, where sometimes with digital it can get lost in the mix, and it's just that extra touch of being personal and making sure you write a handwritten card. That said, there are companies that if you have to do en masse cards, there are companies now that can use real pens and real handwriting, but they'll do en masse cards for you. It maybe defeats the purpose of the handwritten, personal touch, but if you're trying to have the feeling of the personal touch for 1,000 people or more, hundreds of people, without getting all the hand cramps, you might want to consider one of those services. I'll link some of those down below in the show notes. Number three, I really like billboards and bus ads. Now, if you have the budget for it, they can be quite expensive, but if you can afford for a major campaign, maybe something like an alpha campaign where you're trying to do something evangelistic in your local community. One of the things that we found with bus ads, for example, is because they aren't purchased by some people very often, you might pay for 1 month of bus ads to have something on the side of the bus as it drives by. It's going to move all over town with your communication piece on it, but it may actually live there for months to come. We did a new site launch at our church where we bought bus shelter ads, And I think that those ads were up for about 6 months or more because no one else had purchased that particular ad space, because I think people sometimes think digital ads are the way to go, so they've forgotten about some of those print and physical locations that they can advertise. Therefore, we had 1 month of paid advertising and 6 months of free ads. It was amazing. So billboards can be the same way, effectively at strategic locations near your church or near major, busy areas where people who you're trying to talk to might be, complementing your digital. So every time we do a print ad, bus ad, bus shelter, billboard, wherever that may be, make sure you're pointing people to your digital assets where they can get all the information they need, not just a catchy highlighted headline. The fourth thing I want to tell you about is coffee table style books. Beautiful print pieces that might be a magazine kind of look and feel that people could have and keep for a long time and keep on their coffee table, keep on their desk, keep in their bathroom beside the toilet, wherever they like to read magazines or other people might interact with them, in their doctor's office or things like that. We've done some amazing projects like that in the past where telling stories about the church. Maybe it's the annual report done in a beautiful visual way. Maybe it's telling testimonial stories of the life of the church. Maybe it's poetry and art, inspiration from scripture, whatever it may be that suits what you're trying to accomplish in your ministry. Consider doing something as a beautiful printed piece. You could also, of course, always have a digital version of it for people to see and pass around, but maybe it's a one per household. You're going to spend the money to print out. You might even have them for sale if you need to make some of the money back. A beautiful printed piece is something that is really going to last a long time, for years to come, if you do it like a magazine style of storytelling and the impact of what God is doing in the life of your ministry. Number five, the last thing I want to talk to you about is those Instagrammable items. What I mean by that is something that people might want to take a photo of that's a printed piece. For example, a great example is a coffee cup, a paper cup, or the sleeve on the coffee cup. Consider printing some of those where it has the name of your church or a scripture verse or an encouraging word, something fun or beautiful that people would hold in their hand, snap a photo of, and want to share on Instagram or other places like that. Things like printed journals or printed swag pieces like pens and mugs and things like they might keep. T-shirts are a great thing to print. Things that people might actually use themselves, but also take photos of them either wearing or using or holding. Stuff that can go long past where the printed piece lives and into digital spaces. So I hope you are using these 5 print items still in your church, even in the digital world that we're living in. Thank you so much to the Canadian Centre for Christian Charities for making this tutorial possible. Are you a member yet of the 4 C's? If not, they have an amazing opportunity right now, fall 2021, to get this year and next year included in the same price of membership. If you're looking for help with HR, you want to join a group membership for a benefits package for your church and for your community, there's all kinds of resources that they have. They operate as like an extension of your church team. It takes so much to run a church right now, and they can help you and support you with a whole team of people at your disposal, but also all kinds of resources so you can be self-guided in answering all kinds of questions that come up as you run your church here in Canada.